To see the basic member experience, we can come over to the demo site, demo.wpfortoastmasters.com, and there is a demo username and password that you can use, which is just user member, password member. So when I go to access one of these events, and I log in as member and member, here's the experience that I would have. I can take a role. I can sign up to be Toastmaster of the day. And now you see the demo member is listed as Toastmaster of the day. There's also a remove me button if I wanted to back out of that responsibility, which I'm not going to do. Instead, I'm going to get on the phone and try and fill up my roster. So if we have open slots on the agenda, I'm going to call people up and try and get them signed up for those roles. So I'll put down Abraham Lincoln for the invocation, and we now see that Abe Lincoln is down for invocation. Another thing we just added recently was a recommend button. So this is where, instead of calling somebody up, I may want to send them an email notification saying you'd be great for this role. And one of the things we have available to us here is a list of just the people who have not currently signed up to take a role, and it shows when they last filled that role. So Andrew Jackson hasn't been Table Topics Master since back in June, so we're going to give him that role. Or at least we're going to nominate him for that role. He has to decide whether he wants to accept it. So we're getting here a preview of what he's going to receive via email. So Toastmaster Demo Member has recommended you for the role of Topics Master on this specific date. Click here to accept. And the concept is he can click there to accept. He actually doesn't have to enter his password. And now we see he has accepted that role. He's all signed up. There is another option where you can also send out an email to the whole club saying something like, we need to fill these last few roles. And when I click here, it'll go out to the whole group, showing them right at the top what the open roles are to be filled, with a link where they can log in to the right event and add their information. And if they've forgotten their password, there's also a prompt for how they can recover it. I'm not going to do that live right now. We have a link where we can grab a sign-up sheet. So it's good to be able to walk into the meeting with a sign-up sheet. You could also bring a tablet into the meeting and potentially sign people up live right at the meeting on your iPad, or bring a laptop. But it's good to have the option of being able to print something. So this is going to show us who has already registered in advance for different roles, but we can also see where the blanks are so people can fill them in. So this is something I would print out and put on a clipboard. I can print the agenda directly from the website. Sometimes we might want to pretty it up a little bit more, so we do also have an export to Word option. And this will take just a moment. It's going to open the document in Microsoft Word. So this image here is supposed to be the logo. It usually takes a moment to load for some reason. But if we toggle this into print layout mode, we see a preview of how this would appear when we print it out. We can change the fonts, we can change the verbiage, maybe move things around a little bit, but we still have all the data that we pulled in from the website to work with. And there's the logo. Now, I'll log out. I'm going to customize my member profile. I can come in. We do have spaces for things like home phone. We can fill out that information, and we can update this image if we wanted to choose another photo to be displayed. If I log out as a member and I come back in as the administrator, again, we're going to see more options now. I can go back over to one of these meetings, and I mentioned that there was an easier, more visual way of modifying the agenda. So we have the concept of this visual editor that's set up so that you can drag and drop these blocks of text to rearrange them. And we can go through, and as we did before, we might change the number of speakers from 3 to 2. So the number of evaluators would also need to be changed from 3 to 2. And we save that, and we go back and view the event. We should now see 2 speakers instead of 3, 2 evaluators instead of 3. Now, I'm not sure I actually explained along the way that one of the basics of how you navigate around the site is when you're logged in, you get this black menu banner across the top. It will look a little bit different for an administrator or an editor versus a regular member. But to move from the front end of the site to the back end administrative part of the site, we go up to the top and we click on Dashboard. And that's going to bring us to our general options. If we want to change the appearance of the site, we have some flexibility here. We have several themes that are all Toastmasters branded. They're all within the Toastmasters branding guidelines. Yes, I've checked with Toastmasters International. But they look a bit different. So we can style things differently. We can say switch over to this Florida themed one. I happen to be in Florida, so I thought maybe one of my clubs, my area clubs, would want to give this a try. So now we have this tropical background. And a couple of these themes also have an option to change the Toastmasters banner that appears at the top. So that one was one of these ones with blue and magenta. Maybe I want to switch to this blue and yellow color scheme. Let's see. Actually, that one. And when I save changes and go back out to the site, we'll see that it's changed. Okay. Or if I revert to this one, I have some customization options. So right now, this is appearing with a purplish background. We can go in and change that, change our background color. I want something in the black range, but not that dark. Well, I'm not sure we actually like this, but we can play around with it. If you have an experienced web developer, they may actually know the different color codes to change this, but just for the sake of demonstration, if we go back out to our site, we'll now see that that background color has changed. So, another thing I should cover in terms of WordPress basics is how you edit your content. So if you wanted to edit any of the standing pages, such as the Join Our Club marketing page or our home page, there is an option at the top for the administrator or an editor to edit that page. So when we come in here, we have basically a word processor. The one thing that is different about this particular word processor is there is an edit link. So if we highlight a word and click that, we're giving the option to turn that into a link to a specific web address. Also important is this Add Media button here. So this is going to show things that are in our media library that we can grab. We can also upload files. So I can select any file off my own machine. And that will upload. We have some configuration options. We have some configuration options on the side that we can decide whether it should be displayed full size, whether it should be aligned to the left or the right, or just shown right where we place it. And we could click Insert into Page, and it shows up here. And if I updated, that would show up on the home page of the website, which I'm not going to do because that's not a good idea. So you would use your home page and some of the standing pages for your basic content. You can also have posts, and posts might be things like a video that you want to share of a recent great meeting, great event. So this is a video of one of the Club Awesome members, and this is a video that actually has brought people into our club. We've had people join saying, I wanted to meet the coffee lady. She had a video called the Coffee Campaign.